Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. In this video we will implement pull to refresh in our this to-do list app. So this will with this pull to refresh we can fetch the latest data from the network, and so this is what we will accomplish in this video. So let's proceed. You can find the initial code for this video from the video description below. So in this initial code we have our list package, and in that UI to do, and in here we have our to-do list screen, and in this screen we are presenting our UI in to-do list content. So we will move to that composable, and in here we have our to-do LazyColumn composable, which present list data in the LazyColumn. So here we need to implement the pull to refresh. So for that, here we use the pull to refresh composable, which is named as pull to refresh container, which required the state. So we store the state here. Remember, pull to refresh state, and press Alt Enter and opt in that we are using this experimental API, and also name it as pull to refresh state, and pass it here, pull to refresh state. I will rename it as actually this T should be capital. So also apply the alignment for this one, so that this loader should be shown on the top center. So for that we use the modifier dot align alignment dot top center, and when user do this operation, then we need to refresh the data. So for that we need to send an action to our ViewModel. So to identify that event, we see that what options we have here. We have is refreshing, start refresh, and refresh. So we observe this is refreshing property. When this becomes true, then we send the action to the ViewModel to refresh the data. So for that we use launched effect here, and in here we pass the pull to refresh dot is refreshing, and in that launched effect we will check whether pull to refresh is refreshing. If it's true, then we send the action to the ViewModel. So for that we call on action to do list action dot refresh data. Currently we haven't defined this action yet, so we go to this to do list action, press Ctrl and click, and in here press Ctrl D, make copy of this one and name it as refresh data. And in our to do list ViewModel, here we need to add another branch for that. So if we press Alt Enter and add remaining branch, and in that we call refresh data method, and currently this method doesn't exist, so we will press Alt Enter and create this function, and in that we will fetch to-dos, and in this method we go with this last item ID with default value, because we want to refresh the complete data. So we want to fetch the first page, so that's why we go with the default values. So now in here we need to so actually at this point, if in this fetch to dos we will see that we are getting the data from the network, and actually let's run the app and see the behavior at this stage. Okay, so our app is up and running. So we will do pull to refresh, and it's not working. Actually we need to do some further modification here, that in our to-do list content, in here we have the box, and in box we have the LazyColumn, and on above that we have this one. So currently our scrolling is only working with this LazyColumn only, so we need to trigger the scrolling of this pull to refresh container as well. So for that we set some property to this parent, that is nested scroll, and use pull to refresh state, nested scroll connection. Okay, so now if we run the app and try to pull to refresh again, then we can do it. Okay, so our app is up and running. So now if we pull to refresh, then now it's working. So let's do this pull to refresh. And we are not observing any data change, and also we are seeing this infinite loader. So we need to control this loader from here. Okay, so we need to hide this infinite loader when the data is loaded. So actually the data is loaded, but we are not seeing any behavior in here. This is because if we see the first item, change bed sheets, and if we scroll down in this date further, then we are seeing this entry again. Actually, this is replacing that data. So the previous data is not being cleared, so we need to do two operations here. The first one is whenever the data is going to refresh, then we will clear the previous data and present the latest coming data in the UI. And the second is we need to hide this loader when the data is successfully loaded. So in here in our to-do list view model, fetch data, here we will, in our fetch to-dos, here we apply a condition that if last item ID is -1, then we will clear the hash map and collapsible hash map as well. If anything is already collapsed, then we also need to clear that one from here. And the next thing is we need to hide this infinite loader. So for that, here we call a method in refresh data. We call a method show pull to refresh loader, and we create this function and update the UI state it.copy show pull to refresh loader and set it to true. Currently this property haven't been defined yet, so we will define in just next few minutes. So in this fetch to do's, when the data is successfully loaded, then we need to hide that this pull to refresh loader. So here we call a method hide pull to refresh loader and press alt enter, create this function, and in this we do the same thing, update UI state show pull to refresh loader and set it to false. And actually here we need to call it.copy, and in that we will move this one. And the reason why we are doing this operation here, actually I will move this method near to this one, press Ctrl X and paste it in here. The reason in first place why we are setting this to true is because if by default this will be false. So if we do not set it to true, then in the next iteration when we are going to hide this one, then the recomposition won't be happen on the UI side. So we go to our UI state, and in here we define this property, which would be a boolean, and by default this will be false. So coming back to our to-do list view model, and these have been gone, and now on the UI side we need to check observe that property. So launched effect UI state dot show pull to refresh loader. So if it is false, UI state dot show pull to if it is false, then we will hide this pull to refresh loader. So pull to refresh dot end refresh. Okay, and for further a network-like behavior, currently we are getting this repository contains some in-memory list where we are getting data from. So we will add some artificial delay here before this call, so we can observe some refresh behavior on our UI side. So I will add a delay of 4 seconds. And this delay is a suspend function, so we also need to wrap our this function in a coroutine scope. So ViewModel scope dot launch, and consider that we are doing a network operation, so will use IO dispatcher here. So let's run the app and verify the behavior. Okay, so our app is up and running, but we are seeing some crash here. So let's see in our logs that what crash we have in our to-do list view model. We are seeing some crash when this fetch next page is called. So currently let's skip this thing, that why this thing is this method is being called. We just get rid of this crash right now. So we will call a method last or null and use else separator to return if it's this keys list is empty. So let's run the app again. Okay, so our app is up and running, and we are seeing the data here. So now if I do pull to refresh, loader is shown, and after successful loading of data, the loader have been hide. So with this we come to the end of this video. So I hope this would be very meaningful information for you. So thank you for watching. Bye.